First of all, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who came to the stand at the photography show today to watch me and David Stanbury talking and messing about with the camera. As you can hear from my voice, I'm feeling a bit croaky now. Maybe I should not do these edits until my voice is back, but nonetheless I said I'd do it, and so I'm going to do a very quick edit through the images of David and show you what it is I had in my mind while it actually is still fresh in my mind. Did I get there? Pretty much. It wasn't too bad. Would I have liked a little bit of time to have dressed the shot properly and juiced it and finessed it? Yes, of course I would, but I did it in the 10 minutes while I was on the stage in between talking to the audience. So first things, if you have a look at the images that we have, I've filtered them down a little bit. The first thing you should notice is that each file has been named. So I took 50, what did I do? I took 21 frames in the day, but that includes all my test shots before anyone was sat down. Note that I always give them naming conventions such as this. So this is the date in a year, then month, then day format. TPHS just means the photography show, and then a reference number. We've always done this, and it's a really important thing, and it's only now as I'm going through the process of writing a book that we've worked out just how important it is, because without being able to track any image back, it's impossible. So get into the habit, do it now, of naming your images using some kind of nomenclature. It doesn't have to be this one. So I've got to decide which image I'm going to edit, and I've decided I'm going to do this one. For a number of reasons, I've chopped in a little bit close on this edge. There is, in fact, I don't know, what's that, one line of pixels. I might just be able to increase the size of it if I really wanted to, but I'm not that worried because I know what the crop is going to be. But what I really like about this image is the look in Dave's eyes. He's got really good eye contact with the camera. He looks really engaged. There's some problems with it. The shirt's ridden up here, and his cuff is ridden in here. And I'm going to endeavour to fix those. I won't talk through every detail as I'm going through it, but I will try to fix them. So if I flatten the settings here, you can see this is what it looked like before. This is how I shot it. Lots of blacks blocked up under here. Well, I say lots. It's in a shadowed area, so there isn't really that much. No highlights blown, and I've got, if you look at my histogram, I've got tone all the way up to the edge. I just haven't quite gone off the top. So I undo that reset. So if we open this in Photoshop now, which is where the majority of it will be done, the first thing I normally do on an image is to sort out my background. I just find it reassuring to know that I've managed to build my background. So a duplicate layer, almost always I'll do my work on a duplicate layer, and all I'm going to do is just using the clone tool, the stamp tool. I'm going to build the background up very carefully, try not to pick anything I don't want up. So that's the top part. So I've got all of the background now I want it. That looks pretty good to me. Just double checking I haven't done anything silly. And just by turning the layers on and off I can check that. It's a little bit, there's a little bit I don't like here. Let's just check it. So I've got a little bit of bleed into the hair, but nothing major. Okay, so I'm going to merge those down. I've done that. You don't have to merge them down, but it just saves a little bit of memory. So now I have to pick my fights. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have a go at this cuff here and see what we can build. This bit should be relatively straightforward here, where the shadow is nice and dark because you can just accentuate the shadow. Where the cuff bleeds out here, I'm going to have to figure out just how to build that. And I think my first attempt will almost certainly be to clone in like so. Once I've done that, got it more or less where I think it might be, I'm just going to mask out the bits I don't want. And I think I just need to leave a little bit of an edge along there. Forever working backwards and forwards in an area like this. And things like this are the photographer's fault, you know, I should have spotted it. But you can't always, particularly when you've got 150 people in the audience, just to your right. So that's just a little bit better. Edge there. Now we just need to make sure that I haven't got any nasty edges that I've created. So a little bit maybe. So I just need to mask off that edge. Not perfect, but for a quick edit that'll do. Now I'm going to again, actually I won't merge this one down in case I need to revisit that. Stamp visible, which just copies all of the layers. What I really want to do here is take this lovely clean edge across the shirt, or bring this edge up through the shirt. Either of those I think would be acceptable, but I have a bit more to play with here. So we'll always do a quick experiment. And all I'm looking for is to see if I can get that line to flow through. This might need a couple of goes to get it right. And we can do exactly the same here. So what I'm just trying to do is build a line through here. I just very quickly mask through some of that. Okay, so that's pretty much sorted that out. I'm just going to have a quick scan now for any loose hairs and bits and pieces and get those sorted as well. Well, I'll create a new layer to do that. Actually, let me just... Yeah, the stamp visible. I hate stray hairs. They really frustrate me. People ask me quite a bit why I don't use things like the patch tool, and I don't like the discoloration you get off it. I do use it sometimes, but I like the clone tool a little bit better. It's got a little bit more control, a little bit more predictable. But I always work with quite a hard brush. Don't go really soft because it makes the skin look really plasticky. I've also always got my fingers over the undo key. If I was doing a female fine art retouch or a modelling retouch, I'd use frequency separation to do this. You can go look it up. Plenty of online tutorials how to look up frequency separation. Of course, this is a portrait. I don't want to get rid of all of the scars and things. I'm just making sure that I haven't left anything in there that they won't like. I've got a choice at this point about where there's this tired line under the eyes. There are plenty of quick tricks to sort that out. I'll show you one and we'll decide whether we're going to keep it. You stamp the layer. This is one where I do use the patch tool. So this here, this line here is fine. This line here, less so. Same on the other side. Okay, this is where the lower eyelid just sags slightly. This is tiredness. And so all I'm going to do is just reduce it. I'm not going to take it away because that fundamentally changes the shape of the face. So just using the heel tool. Same on the other side. Sorry, the patch tool. And then you back it off. Of course, during the shoot I could have just done this with a really good reflector or with a floor light just under Dave's chin. Put clamshell lighting in. So I've just taken the edge off it, nothing more. I still want the structure there. I just want to take the worst of it off. There's a lot of ways I could do this. Again, there's a lot of ways I could do this, and frequency separation is by far the most effective, but it's a bit more time consuming, and this is just a quick edit, and we don't retouch every portrait. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a little bit of dodging and burning, just because I can. Very often I'll just have a quick check of the eyes. Now I've lit the eyes reasonably well here, but I'm just going to strengthen the highlights a little, and on the opposite side where the light would be coming back out of the eye, just lighten that slightly. If I wanted to strengthen this shadow down the cheek I could at this point, but I don't think there's any need to. I might just make sure this, just to soften that brush, make sure this shadow's nice and dark. You can use all sorts of tools to do dodging and burning. My personal preference is to use a couple of curves layers. It's a little bit more controllable than painting onto soft light or various other techniques. Again, just darken this in here. Try to do that slightly. That all looks pretty good to me. Okay, then all I'm going to do is add a vignette layer, and the way I normally do that is I use exposure control. I can do it lots and lots of different ways, but exposure control for me, for the type of images I shoot, seems to work pretty well. So what I'm going to do is just take it nice and just change the midtones, which is the gamma channel. Nice big soft brush. I know you can. There's plenty of automated vignettes out there, but I really like the control I have. Just using this tool and then very gently edging that back. Just down here, just so you can see the outlines. Just pass that little there. That looks about right to me. Now at this point I could put texture into the background, but I don't think I'm going to. What I'm going to do, again, I'm going to stamp a layer, turn it into a smart object, and add a small amount of noise. As soon as I've been doing this kind of vignette work where I've got a very smooth tone, you're in grave danger of introducing banding. And I was watching the judging and licentiate qualifications of the day with the MPA, and with these areas of tonal gradation, too many prints came in with really bad print banding, and that banding is caused by the fact there are step changes in the colours, all in a very similar pattern. Just a little injection of a little bit of noise will sort that out. Then what we're going to do is we're going to convert it to a black and white. In my head this was always a black and white image. That's more or less what I wanted. Might just pop brightness. Oh no, I quite like it where it's actually. This is Nik Silver Effex 2 Pro 2, which is an amazing piece of software. The control I have over this, and you have down here the zone system, and so I can check. So skin tones really should sit at level 9, and obviously my black should be down at level 0. So I can just push that a little. Just make sure the shadows are in nicely. Which I don't really want. Too much in there. That's about right for me. That'll do. Quite happy with that. I like my black and whites like this, quite rich, quite dark. Just clipping into the blacks. That's pretty good. And then if I was going to put a little bit of colour on it, there's lots of ways of doing it. One of my preferred ways of many. It's just a colour balance layer in the midtones. So all I'm doing is changing the colour of the mids, not the highlights, not the shadows, just the midtones. And it's one of the most versatile ways of creating tone. Notice at this point I haven't cropped it. I always leave the cropping to the last thing, and I do the cropping in Lightroom. The reason I do that is if I wanted to, I could create 3 or 4 virtual copies, each with a completely different crop. So if I wanted a square crop for LinkedIn, or a wide crop for a masthead, or a tall crop to go down a banner on the side of a layup, then I've always got those options to change it after the fact. And given I keep all of our images in Lightroom, that's how I do it. So if I look at this now, I crop it. I'm going to bring that down. I think I know what the crop will be. Break all the rules and chop in hard. But I've always been a huge fan of chopped in images. I don't like that elbow patch very much. It just breaks up that line in the corner, but I can't do very much about it. There are some days where you just have to live with it. I'm just working my way around, figuring out what's the right crop. So if it was left to me, I'd chop in that hard, but I always know I get into trouble for it. Maybe around there, don't know. I'm usually pretty decisive with cropping, but I can't make my mind up on this one. That's a bit better. I don't like that back edge very much, that's what it is. I'm always quite happy to have an off-centre crop. It's just a little bit less predictable. Maybe I'll produce 2, and this is where not having cropped it in Photoshop gives me the ability to do that. Okay, so I've got 2 virtual copies, so I'll just survey those. Not sure which of the 2 I prefer. Probably the one where I've chopped in harder. And there it is. A very quick image. It took me, what, 2 or 3 minutes to shoot, and so there it is. A very quick, easy to take photograph, lit pretty well thanks to the flash sensor and the Elinchrom unit that I had, which I now need to go price up because I really liked it, and a Elastilite backdrop in purple. Again, thank you for bearing with me, and thank you for coming to the stage if you were there, and you never know, hopefully I'll see you at the next one. Thank you.